We're on.
It's recording now. Where's the dog? Where's the damn dog? Crikey, here it is. Alright.
Did he bark at you then? Or was that you barking?
He was barking.
Yeah.
So, shall I call you real name or I call you Hugo?
Yeah. Hello everyone, I'm Brett.
He's a friend of mine. There's a lovely wife behind us.
She's working.
It smells really lovely here. So you're baking something.
Granola.
Granola.
That's our breakfast. We make our own granola breakfast cereal.
Okay.
So it's no grains, mainly seed, and to buy it, like to buy that jar there, it would cost you like $35–40.
Ah.
And we buy it in the raw material, which costs about $5 for a big bag. And yeah, so it's a lot cheaper way of doing it. Can't afford to buy, you know, granola rinse.
What do you think about the market we went last week? Do you think it was good?
Yeah, look, it's there. They are good. I like them. It'd be good once more people are there and they've got more variety there.
Well, all these farmers, they weren't happy. They complain a lot. They want to sell more. You didn't see me, but I was talking to that guy. We got tomatoes from him, and he said that he came all the way from Toowoomba and how much money it cost him to get here, and if people don't buy enough, he's not coming again. And yeah, I was just standing there, listening to his rant. That's a typical farmer, isn't it? Farmers are not united.
No.
They never were.
No.
They never will be.
That's the way the environment is today. You know, you've only got to look at, you know, the farming that's happening in Australia with, like, let's say, almond farmers planting almonds in Victoria. Like I think I might have sent you that video.
That video,
you know,
yeah.
They're planting almonds in sandy soil. That really, there's no water holding capacity there. So, you know, you've got to buy the water to plant it, and these big multinationals are coming in planting all these almonds, which most of the almonds go overseas for sale. But what about our sustainable food that we need on our plate every day? You know,
what we didn't say, who you are or what.
My background.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I spent roughly nearly 10 years in the agricultural business. Just I done my certificate 4 in agriculture. You know, just mainly going out doing soil tests for farmers, checking their nutrients in their soil and giving them a program to work on. But a lot of the time my job was called in there by the farmer. Well, my job was to talk to the farmer about his problem he had with his soil. Like, they contacted us most of the time. It wasn't a cold call. Just what they've experienced over the years, the decline in their soil fertility, more so their soil structure, and their yields, just, and the cost of fertiliser and the amount of fertiliser they're using just kept going up, but the yields, you know, declining. They blame the drought, you know, they'll blame the weather, you know, it's all, you know, but then no one's really looking at the big picture, is their soil nutrition, the organic carbon levels in their soil, just on a massive decline, and no one addresses that. I think out of, like, all my farmers, the first thing I'd look at was their organic carbon levels in their soil tests. All the soil tests, you know, they'll come out, they'll have everything on there, and one part there will be OC levels, organic carbon levels. And do you know, 99% of farmers never ever looked at it. And I said, wow, why don't you look at it? And they go, oh, mate, we just concentrate on the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, you know, calcium, and they're the main ones we really concentrate on. The biggest shock I got was, you know, I said to one farmer one day, I said, have you got old soil tests? And he goes, yeah, I keep all of them. He brought soil tests back 15 years, I think was the maximum. So he had a soil test there from 15 years back. So we compared the soil test 15 years ago to the soil test I just done for him And you looked at it and you went, wow, you'd swear they were two different paddocks. And the decline in the nutrition, like it's just, rather than maybe just, you know, being stable, it's going this way. And I said, well, there's your answer. You look at his organic carbon levels, just on a massive decline, you know. And I go, when you were getting your agronomist to do your soil test, what was he saying about this? What would he explain? He goes, never talked about it. Never talked about it. All he just tells me how much nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium to put in the ground, and that's it. So, you know, that in itself is the crime. You know, there's no there's no factoring what his farming is going to be like in the future. You know, you've got to sustain. It's like keeping healthy and fit. You've got to keep that soil balanced and the nutrition right. But it's just pour more fertiliser in it. No question ever asked, well, why do I need more fertiliser? Why do I need more nitrogen? Why do I need more phosphorus? Where's my potassium? Where's all my trace elements going? Where are they? What's happening to it? Now, and most common answer was, oh, it's the drought. It's the drought or the flood. But it's not. It's not understanding the biology in the soil and the balance they're doing, what they're doing. That's basically it.
Okay, but what you said to me the other day, you said, this is not a mistake, this was a plan. It was designed this way.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so who's benefiting from this?
Well, you've only got to look at anything that comes out. When a product comes out, let's for instance look at glyphosate, okay, Roundup. Now, Monsanto brought that out. They had a patent on it. Like, it used to be really expensive, patent, and you know, and it just took off. Like, oh, how great is this? How great is this? It's safe. I'd been at ag shows. I hadn't seen it, but I've heard about it. They were so brainwashed. You can actually Google it, and they talked about how safe it was. You could drink it. You could drink this stuff. You know, they done it. There was a YouTube. It's probably been taken down now. He actually fronted a rep, and he said, "This is actually safe enough to drink." He goes, "Yeah, of course." He goes, "Well, I've got some. Do you want to drink it?" And he got up and just walked out. But see, once the patent come off glyphosate, like you go into Coles, Woolworths, Bunnings, Mitre 10, any store, and what can you buy? Glyphosate. It's everywhere. You know, people just think, oh, this is great, it kills weeds. They've got no idea what glyphosate does, and you know, because it's safe and you can buy it in the supermarket, everyone thinks it's safe. Is it? No way. Not in your life. So glyphosate wasn't even invented by Monsanto. It was invented by a mining company to separate heavy metals. It worked. It separated the heavy metals, but it's just too expensive to make. So they got rid of it, and Monsanto just went, we'll take that. And that's basically what it does. In a nutshell, without getting too technical, it does get technical. Basically, all glyphosate does, it starves the weed from bringing up nutrients in the
I don't know.
where we at? We were talking about Monsanto. Yeah, so
what it does to the soil.
Basically what it does, it basically, once the chemical goes on the ground, it actually stops the plant bringing up trace elements. So the plant actually starves and dies. That's what it has. So the plant just can't bring up nutrients and it just dies. So it's basically like what happens, you know, like when you plant the next crop, you know, so the reason why they're probably throwing more fertiliser in, because, you know, those nutrients aren't just, you know, this stuff's supposed to be biodegradable, and you know, it's not good. It's not good.
It's like you said to me the other day. You said they tell people, oh, it kills all the bugs and weed, but it's safe for you.
Well, that's when you come into herbicides. They're herbicides and insecticides. You know, they come in, and see, there's another science that's not explained properly to people, why bugs and weeds grow in the first place. Like, what's a weed? You know, a wheat in a rose garden is a weed, you know, but it's just a dirty word. The word weed. It's there for a reason. If you look at bugs, you know, the reason why they're attacking a plant is because of the bricks. You know, the plant is actually vibrating and suffering, which most bugs have antennas.
Oh, okay.
That vibration is picked up.
Oh, thank you.
That vibration is picked up by those bugs, and that bug zooms in on that plant and gets rid of it. You know, so instead of science going, well, let's fix the nutrition so the plant doesn't get sick and start vibrating and attracting all the bugs. Thanks, mate. Let's just kill these bugs in the first place. Spray all this crap on to kill the bugs. That's perfectly safe for us. Can you believe that? You know, most people will, mate, because it's written on the bottle. You know, they'll tell you to wash it, and but it's
What can you get rid of when you wash something?
well,
It's made of the stuff.
and it's embedded in it. Who knows?
Exactly.
You know, especially once you know you applied it to the soil and the roots take it up. You know, it's taken up through the roots into the plant. It's in there, mate.
When I lived in Czech Republic, there was a vineyard behind our house.
The windrows.
Vineyards.
Oh, yeah.
And they were spraying all the time.
Yeah.
They weren't spraying just when it was ready to harvest. They were spraying since there was nothing there. There was just leaves. They were spraying leaves. Then they were spraying little flowers.
See, Pete, as
Grapes.
mate, as the nutrition falls in our soil, the plants are getting weaker and weaker, and the insects are having a ball. They love it. They just because that's their design. Nature's garbage collectors. They just want to get rid of that crop because that's what their job is. And who's missing out on is what happens is the bricks. Like your bricks is basically the amino acids, sugar levels in that plant. Sugar is everything, you know, in the plant. And what's basically happening in a nutshell is that plant just hasn't got the right amount of sugars in it, so the insects are getting rid of it. But we come along and spray it, right, and kill the insects, and we consume a product, inferior product. That's...
Is it hot enough for coffee?
Sure, love.
So, how did we do it before fertilizer? Because I know there was that German guy, Fritz Haber was his name. I
Right, his
believe.
name down, yeah, Fritz Haber.
Fritz Haber, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know? I heard this a long time ago, and I found that interesting. Let's wait for the song.
She's noisy in the kitchen.
You can't be. And, how long is it gonna go for? That thing.
About 25 seconds.
Oh,
Jesus.
noisy.
I know, it is, isn't it?
Well, these things, they pick up on this noise a lot.
I didn't know if you had turned on yet or not.
I can't.
Righto.
Okay. Go.
Well, we don't say Jesus in this house, so we'll talk about it later. But anyway, this Fritz Haber, apparently the same guy who came up with fertilizer, right? So
He got the nitrogen and
yeah. Well, he discovered a method how to get the nitrogen from air.
not ammonium into it, ammonium nitrate.
Yes. So some people say that he is the guy who saved lots of lives because he could feed lots of people because of the fertilizer, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so they wanted to give him a Nobel Prize.
Yeah.
I think he did get Nobel Prize for that. But guess what? That's the same guy who invented mustard gas. Yeah, so he's also the same guy who killed lots of people in the Great War, which we also call First World War.
Yeah.
But if you know the history, and he's like he's neither monster, neither a good guy. He was a scientist, right? You're a scientist. You're Fritz Haber, right? And you just got a Nobel Prize, so you know your shit. Then your country is at war. Germany was at war.
Yeah.
So military comes knocking at your door and say, mate, no. They say, mate, we have a problem. The Western Front is not going the way we were planning. Everyone's dug in. No allies, no Germans were planning for the stalemate. As you know, the Western Front it came to a point where no one was getting anywhere. They were all in trenches, and shit. Well, now what? So they came to him and said, "We want you to come up with a way how to get them out of these trenches, all these soldiers, and maybe a heavy gas would do it. So these soldiers will jump out, and we're gonna kill them with a machine gun." Well, guess what? Wind changed, right? And it was killing Germans too. So that didn't go according to the plan. So that's the story about him. I think because of that, they didn't want to give him that Nobel Prize for nitrogen.
Yeah.
Or they wanted to take it from him, if that's possible. But anyway, so before that, people were using what? Shit.
Oh, you got
cow shit, horse
yeah,
shit.
natural, mineral. Before mineralized fertilizer comes out, you just had organic fertilizer, green manure crops. Guano is another one. Seabird, you heard of seabird and bat shit?
Bat shit, yeah.
Yeah, there's another one.
There were islands covered by it, and
I used to go to Christmas Island, Nauru.
Yeah, and people involved in that business, they said it was dearer than gold. Some people got seriously rich on that, on shit.
Bit like sugar, mate.
Yeah, well,
when sugar first came out. But so look, it was just another painting that come out and just took off. The same thing today. Like, it's not a painting anymore. So what are they doing? They're condemning nitrogen. The Netherlands. Like, now it's the enemy. They were saving the world there 1 minute. Now it's the enemy.
But let's talk about these Holland farmers, because look, you said we want to be with them, okay? So they are trying to get united against the tyranny because we know it's a land grab, right? But you said, are they doing the right thing? What if they win? What if they win and there'll be heaps of fertilizer from, say the Russia-Ukraine conflict stops today. So next month they will have plenty of fertilizer, no problem. The cost will go down. Yeah. Is it a good thing? You don't think so?
There's such a fine line, Peter, like between, the truth is being so easily manipulated these days. Whether to go to the left or the right of that line, using nitrogen is a good thing. Like, if you've got soil that's lacking nitrogen, guess what? You've got to put we've got to survive. You've got to put nitrogen in. But it's generally the overuse of it, mate. That's the biggest problem.
You say like antibiotics. It's a good thing to have.
Exactly.
But not a good thing to be on it all the time.
Who's been to the doctor? I remember being to doctors when I was a kid in the 70s. You went to the doctor, you had a cold. What the first thing he gave you? Antibiotics. He said, just antibiotics, go and take them. It wasn't. How do you know if it was viral or bacterial?
Actually,
they never tested you.
You won't believe this, but this need for antibiotics almost stopped me from going to England in the first place.
Really?
Yeah, I'll explain. Look, I was living in Czech Republic, and I really, really didn't like it. It's not like Czech Republic. I didn't like. I was in a situation I didn't like. Right? It would be wrong. It would be wrong to blame Czech Republic, but I was in a situation where I didn't feel like I want to. Just put it this way. I always want to know what's out there, right? And I knew that if I don't do it now, when I'm still young and independent, kind of, you know, healthy, I would never go. I would end up like all my friends. And there's nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong. I was 26 when I was about to leave for England. And most of my mates, they were already married, having kids, almost started having families, right? I had nothing. My girlfriend just broke up with me. I just lost my job at the same time, so I was pretty miserable. And I thought, shit, you know, now what? Oh. And at that point, I didn't have a uni certificate or anything. I wasn't a very good catch. You know, no job, still living with my folks. So I thought, oh man, and I just bought kind of one-way ticket to London. But there was a problem. I used to suffer from tonsillitis. Yeah. In Czech we call it angina.
Yeah.
Which it has nothing to do with angina, but tonsillitis. You know.
Everyone suffered from it. My wife suffered from it. I suffered from it. When I was a kid, you know, I remember going, oh, I'm going to swallow.
I was like a male frog, mate. You know, every 6 months, twice a year, I couldn't swallow my own saliva. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
And I was in so much pain. And the story was always the same. I went to see my GP, and she gave me antibiotics. Bang, you know, first dose, gone. I felt like I wanna go back to work, but you have to finish the cycle.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Anyway,
7 days.
now I'm sitting at home looking at my ticket to London, thinking, what if I get tonsillitis in England? I don't have a GP. I was a student. You won't have a doctor when you're a student.
Right.
And I don't speak any English. What am I going to do? Over here in Czech Republic, in Most, it was easy. I knew where my GP was. You know, I knew what to do. Now, seriously, I was a bit worried. Where will I get antibiotics in England? Because antibiotics you can't buy. Okay, you go to the pharmacy, you buy them. Not really, because you need prescription. All right, you can't buy antibiotics over the counter. So I don't want to say I almost didn't go. No. But I was worried. I was really worried, and I was shitting bricks when I lived in London because I was like, oh my God, what if I'm gonna? And eventually I got something. I got sore throat, and I tried, you know, the strepsils and all that, and all sorts of, you know, things that won't work. I didn't develop that. It was just a sore throat. And so no antibiotics for my first year living in England. No antibiotics for my second year, third year. Guess what? Never came back. Once I weaned off myself of antibiotics, I don't need them anymore. Now I'm not afraid of having a bad sore throat.
Amazing, isn't it?
Last time I had antibiotics or sore throat was when I was still living in Czech Republic 20 odd years ago. That's right. Yeah. The thing is, the key is to stop taking it.
Yeah.
Because you don't need it. Yeah, you do need it. You do need it. You know, in a war, if they're about to cut your leg off, you know, you need antibiotics. But I think it was Fleming, you know, the guy who invented other drugs. Yeah. Who said antibiotics it's a war medicine. When you don't have when you don't have war anymore, you should stop. Yeah. You should stop giving to people.
Being in the industry myself, Pete, it's like a lot of people just, you know, they switch on their TV, you know, they hear all the bad stories about the bad effects of something that's being incorrectly used. And that's a lot of the time. See, a lot of the times now, most of the agronomists will go through university. They'll get their degree, all paid for by the chemical companies that push them through. They come out there and they're all mindset, no different to a doctor. What drug you're going to give them. The same principles, mate. The same principles. So, I used to take agronomists out. Like if I was in an area, say Sunshine Coast, I'll go and see a local store and I'll go and see your local agronomist and say, look, we're selling minerals, rock minerals. Come out with me and I'll show you how I can incorporate these into your program. And he got talking to me, and it's amazing. He goes, when we do a soil test now, he says, I sit down and I'll go through all the numbers and work out, what's needed, how much nitrogen, how much phosphorus, how much potassium. He said, I said, well, how do you do it? He goes, mate, I just put it into the computer and the computer tells me. And he said, and he laughed and he said, and generally what it'll tell me is what's in the storeroom is basically what they got to get rid of comes out on there. And I said, you're joking. He goes, no, I'm serious. I said, that can't be true. And he goes, I'm just telling you how the system works. So the system fails there dramatically. It's just push. So, and like the big picture I'm seeing now is the chemicals and all the fertiliser are imploding on themselves. It's all collapsing in. People are saying, "Oh, look at the barrier reef. Look at the runoff. Look at the all the bad things that it can cause by over fertilising." And it's been deliberately mishandled. I'm convinced of that. And if we're all going to survive and grow food, if you've been through a drought, like look at Australia, it's either a drought or a flood. There's never equilibrium. It's just always something happening. So they're always going to play a role. But the idea is if you can do without it, by all means, get back to how nature works. Understand, the paradigm shift that farmers missed was, instead of looking at that acre of land saying, well, I'm only getting a 2 tonne per acre, and they go, buy a bigger tractor, buy more fertiliser, buy more land, get more production. That's the paradigm they missed. So everyone ran out and did it. Bought more land, bought a bigger tractor, bought more diesel, bought more fuel, the whole thing, and it just flowed on. And people got bigger and bigger, and instead of understanding why and how they can get more yields and production out of that little acre of land, that wasn't taught to them. It wasn't taught to them. Understand the biology, understand the bacteria, the fungi, everything in that soil, how it works, and work with it rather than against it. That never ever happened. Not in saying it never happened. It happens with a lot of organic farmers now are waking up to it, but the conventional farming, it's just NPK. Put a big plough through it, plough it up a few times.
Can you tell our listeners what NPK is?
Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. In the ground, if you look at the periodic table, there's hundreds of different elements in the ground, hundreds. But we concentrate on NPK, 3. Wow. So it's creating an imbalance. It's not balancing the soil out whatsoever. Without getting too technical, there's another thing called a molar's chart, and a molar's chart explains to us that when you apply too much phosphorus or nitrogen or potassium or even calcium, like calcium is another big one, but calcium is probably the biggest culprit of all of them that can tie up a lot of other nutrients. But you'll see a lot of trucks going around, a lot of farms with big spreaders, and they're spreading lime. Put calcium on the big lime. Oh. Got to have calcium, which is true. Calcium is important, but the overuse of it is detrimental. It can it can tie up a lot of other minerals in the soil, so the plants can't get them up, and then they go, oh, I need more fertiliser, and I just throw it on. So it gets basically out of control, I think, for the farmers. You know, and in the end, the people who are losing are we, the consumers. You know,
Did you say that using fertilizer or overuse of fertilizer, it's like heroin for people?
Well, yeah, like nitrogen, for instance. Like when you use nitrogen, you know, like that actually, when the nitrogen gets into the ground, like, you know, it just excites the microbes. You know, the microbes love it. Hence why, you know, if anyone's ever used nitrogen in their garden, thrown it over their grass, you know, just get this this big, you know. But that you can't keep doing that. Eventually, you'll just either kill it and just wipe it out because it's not sustainable.
Exhaust the land.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and again, it gets very complicated when you start talking about, you know, where the nitrogen, you've got nitrogen in the atmosphere is 78%, but that, you know, you got nitrogen fixing bacteria in the soil. There's another one, nitrogen fixing bacteria in the soil that can take up that nitrogen from the atmosphere. You know, but look, it gets very complicated, Pete, but I don't think most people can grasp what is really going on at the moment and the lies and deception, I think, that's being told. And people just believe the narrative. They believe the narrative and they think well, the government tell the farmers to stop using nitrogen. That must be a good thing. But wait till they all start getting hungry. You know, it's a transition that could take years for a farmer to, like, if a farmer decides to go, right, I want to go organic. There's a big market, like there is a huge market, particularly in America, the pendulum is sort of swinging, because a lot of people like organic foods. They want to eat clean, healthy food. So there is a big movement in America of organic grown food. But the trouble is, to be certified organic and to get that certification, you know, that transition could take 5+ years for you to get that certification. So particularly if there's conventional farming been going on, they've been using Roundup, you know, NPK, herbicides, insecticides. That can take many years to be cleaned out of the soil, and you've got to then come in with a you know, organic program. And then the hardest thing there is, like, a lot of, I'd say up to 80% of organic farmers get it wrong. You know, they get it wrong. They purely think, oh, I'm just not going to use chemicals. And they grow these plants and, you know, they look like crap. Purely because the soil isn't balanced. So, you know, unless, you know, they transition and get a good understanding of how that biology works in the soil, mineralisation is so important, and yeah, it can be done. It can be done, but it's something that doesn't happen overnight, mate. Something doesn't happen overnight.
Is that why we have the push to eat bugs right now everywhere? So what's the story behind that?
Again, mate.
They got all the celebrities. There was a Nicole Kidman,
Yeah,
over
that's
here
all
in Australia.
more bullshit.
Telling,
It's no different.
there was the big eyes. What's the name? She's famous in. Some people think she's pretty. Kardashian.
Oh, Kim. I don't. Yeah, I don't know much about
she's
Kardashian.
got eyes like a baboon. Always, it's always about us, you know, with that woman. It's always oh my.
Big, isn't it?
I mean, it's huge. You can see it from the fucking moon. You know? But that shouldn't be a merit. This shouldn't be why people want to. You know, it's like, why is it okay to say, "Oh, I like Kim Kardashian's ass," but it's not okay to tell some woman, "Oh, I like your hair." If you say that, oh my God, you must be some crazy sexist or whatever. You know, you tell someone, you look pretty today. It's a nice dress. Bang, you lost your job, mate. If you tell us your colleague.
That's what I was saying before, mate. Like the truth, you know, it's so, the line is so, this line either way, left or right, I think, you know, and it's to stay on that right track is just, and like, you know, like eating bugs. Who wants to eat bugs? You know what's that? That shell that's on all bugs. It's I forget the name of it. It's actually a cancer-causing nutrient. That, yeah. And birds eat bugs and don't get sick, but birds haven't got the same gut
That's
as
right,
we.
yeah.
So birds eat bugs. They're meant to eat bugs. We're not meant to eat bugs.
We're not birds. We're not.
That's right. You know, but that's science. I go, oh no. These are specially grown. These bugs are bullshit.
So why is it? Is it because
Mate,
at the
it's
same
like-
time they're destroying the land?
Destroy the land.
They're just giving us alternative.
Climate change, mate. It all comes down to climate change. The climate. We're destroying the planet. Agriculture is destroying the planet. Nitrogen, the overuse of fertilizer, destroying the planet.
Well, that's
something
the narrative. This
something
is the
they
narrative.
created. Yeah, they created. And now they're saying we've got to stop using it.
Is it true or it's just a narrative? Is it true? Is it all really? Is it all fact or it's what they want us to believe?
It's what they want us to believe. Look,
That's right.
And that's what I said about that fine line. It's like bugs. We don't want to be eating bugs. You're going to be, it's like birds in a cage laying eggs. We're going to stop that by 2035. There'll be no more birds in battery hens in cages anymore, which is probably a good thing, providing they support the free range egg industry. Are they going to do that? No. People are going to go, yeah, this is a great thing. We've got no more of those poor egg hens sitting in cages. But wait till you get hungry. The pork industry, they'll get rid of the pork industry. They'll get rid of the beef industry. And they say, you don't need this protein. We've got a better protein for you. Bugs.
From Billy Gates.
Ooh.
He cooked that in the lab.
Cancer's on the rise again. It's just... But people have just really not switched on to it. I don't think they've just got no idea. Having that background in agriculture, and like I started back in 2005, and it's been, and I've been out of the industry now for 10 years purely because the corruption in it was just so great. I'm going, I just can't handle this. Like all I'm talking to farmers about how to get your soil remineralised, like mineralisation. 5 aspects to soil fertility. There's only 5 aspects to soil fertility. For a farmer to keep his soil there's 5 aspects: mulch, minerals, microbes, moisture, and air. That's all it is. So if you look at those 5 aspects of soil fertility, but you ask a farmer, are you mulching? No, I bale everything, mate. I've got to make money out of that stubble. I've got to bale it and sell it. Okay. Are you mineralising? No. Are you aerating your soil? Particularly pastoral farmers, they go aerate. Oh, aerate, mate. See, most of the bacteria in the soil is what? Aerobic bacteria. And it gets hard and compacted, and the aerobic bacteria just goes, and the anaerobic bacteria goes up. You've ever been in a swampy area and you smell that? Smells crap, you can smell it. That's anaerobic bacteria. Nothing grows in it, and that's anaerobic bacteria. That it stinks. Right. But you get aerobic, good soil. Like I could take it out in my garden and pick that soil up, and it smells alive. It smells nice and fresh. It's full of aerobic bacteria.
It's like when you go to a forest and when mushroom grows, and it's a very popular pastime in Czech Republic. People go mushroom picking a lot, and you can tell. You come to a forest and you smell them. You don't see them, but you smell them. Oh, this is good. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like everyone's been in that swampy area, and you go, "Whoa, it stinks," and that's because the bacteria is predominantly. So as your soil goes down, you'll have most of your soil on top. Your topsoil will be aerobic bacteria, and as you go down further, because there's no oxygen, it'll be anaerobic. And a lot of farmers used to bring in those big ploughs, just turn all their soil right. So they bring all the anaerobic bacteria up top. Oh my goodness, you've just gone back you know, you got to start all over again. You know, it's and then they had the zero. You heard of zero-till farming?
No.
Yeah, well, that's, you know, where they don't till the soil, just leave it. But then they, to get rid of the crop, they'll spray. That's where the Roundup came in. You know, they just spray all the pot. You know, they just kill everything with Roundup, and then they'll just run over it and plant the seeds straight back into it. Don't turn the soil, which in a sense is a good idea. Like, you know, that, you know, about compacting the soil too much, and, you know, if it's aerated, it's all working good. But yeah, once they start spraying that, you know, glyphosate and shit.
Let's talk about this. This is not. This is something I read or listened to. It's a theory. It's not mine, but I really liked it, about the land grab. So what's going on with these farmers, whether it's Sri Lanka or over here, or Holland or US, it's a land grab. How does it work? It comes in steps. There are a few steps. I don't know how many steps there are. I don't want to say 3 or 4. There might be many. But it works this way. First, it's propaganda that there's too many people, it's too much farming, the land, it's just, we're destroying the planet, fertilizer, look, fields everywhere. There could have been national parks or whatever, but look, it's farmers farming land everywhere, right? And now these, why? Well, that's all the food for cows. Okay, why cows? Well, because people like the meat. They like to eat beef. Okay, so why do we need that many cows? Do we need cows at all? Or maybe we can get rid of them, so there'll be no cows. They fart a lot or whatever. You know, they eat too much. They pollute. You know, it's just for one. They tell people for 1 kilo, for 1 gram. For 1 gram of meat, you need a pasture this big or that. So
all the fake science will start coming out.
So they demonize. They will demonize animals. It won't be just cows. It will be pigs. Later, it will be hens. It will be chicken.
Yeah.
Did you know? You don't know, but in Czech Republic, I just want to finish this. In Czech Republic, there is a legislation now. In place, if you have even 1 chicken, it must be registered.
No.
So they know about you. So the whole point of this is that you are registered, so they know about you. So now they know that you won't have 1 chicken, you will have few. And then, because they know who you are, where you are, how many you have, they can switch you off any time. A couple of chickens, well, how are they going to switch me off? Easy, all right? The WHO will say, oh, there is a pandemic and birds are spreading it. Bird flu. So WHO, that's why they got 94, 96 countries already signed for that WHO. Whatever WHO WHO says, you will have to do it. Right? So if WHO says, oh, kill all the birds because we got this bird flu going around, they will come knocking at your door and they will kill your stupid chicken. So anyway, so that's another step. Next step will be, and that started already, they pay farmers already. They started paying farmers not to farm. Okay?
Yeah. Ka-ching.
Don't do anything. We'll give you money if you don't do anything. Okay? And lots of farmers, those short-sighted idiots, they will like it. They'll say, all right, so I can get rid of my cows or whatever, and I'll get free cash for not doing anything. And for a while, it will be okay. But then, it's just part of a plan. It's just another step. Next step, do you know what the next step will be? Government will again come to your door and say, okay, you're not doing anything with your land. That's good. Do you really need it? You don't. If you don't do anything with it, we can give you a good money for that. Okay, and a lot of farmers will again say, Okay, well, I don't need anything. Before I had animals, I don't have them anymore. So they will pay you a visit again, and they'll say, hey, now you don't need the land, and you say the money we're giving you is not enough. We can buy the land from you for good money. What you're going to do, you will sell it. And they might even give you a lot of money. You might have a wheelbarrow full of money. But guess what? The next step, the final step, is the checkmate. Then they will introduce a financial crash. And your
We've all suffered that over the years.
and your money will be worthless.
Worthless, yeah.
And then you'll be sitting at home with no animals, no land, looking at your wheelbarrows of money. You can wipe your ass with it. That's who's going to have the land? That's why Bill Gates is buying all that land. He bought already size of Cyprus.
But just recently, like Woolworths and Coles, people were whinging about was it $14 for a lettuce? Do you remember just weeks ago?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Right, and because we had all that rain and it was, they lost all the crops were wiped out. But what people don't understand is that I think lettuce was today $2.50 each or something, you know, and people go, oh yeah, you know, we can eat lettuce again. But what happens when we go into a drought? Like, we're certainly in Australia, we'll come back into a drought. And what happens when, you know, you're paying $1 back, everyone's going, yeah, lettuce for $1 again, everyone's happy. Then the farmer, we go into a drought, and the farmer says, geez, I need to plant some more lettuce, but I've got no water. And he goes, I'm going to have to buy some more water. And it can cost him, where it was costing him $300 a megalitre, now it's going to cost him $7,000 to $8,000 a megalitre. He's going, and I'm going to only get $1 each for my lettuce. I need $10 for a lettuce. And he's not going to grow it. He's not going to grow lettuce. He's going to say, well, what else can I grow? Or I just can't afford to plant because I can't afford to buy the water. Because it's, who owns the water is the other question you've got to ask. Who's buying the water, people? Who, like,
The same people that buy the land.
Who would ever think that, you know, water is for sale? Water was always everyone's. Now it's retirement funds, super funds are buying water. You know, big corporations are buying water. So they're going to buy all this water and hang on to it and sell it to the highest bidder. Do you think the farmer that's supplying our small crops, the veggies, is going to be able to afford to buy it? No way. It's just, I think we've, and you only got to look at, let's go back a few years ago when mad cow disease in the UK. What did they do? Destroyed, just killed all the cattle. Mad cow disease. And how was that brought on? How was mad cows brought on? By the feed. They'll mash, yeah, well, tomato. You look at a tomato, you know, like we used to grow tomatoes when we were kids in the backyard, and like you could eat a tomato, you put salt and pepper on it, it's just absolutely beautiful. You buy a tomato today, cut it, you blindfold yourself, eat it, you don't even know what you got in your mouth. It's got no taste. You just know it's tomato because it's, you know, it's a tomato. But that's, you know, when you look at what we're reading today, it's just not happening. And nutrition is everything. You know, without nutrition, your immune system doesn't function. That's what makes your immune system function, is nutrition.
That's right. That's where your immunity lives. They say if you ask
80%, 80%
is your guts.
In your guts.
Your immunity lives in your guts.
Yeah. But I just wish more people would just, you know, like I get upset when I see people going, yeah, that's the end of those hens being, you know, caged in those rotten cages. But they're not seeing the big picture. They're not seeing the big picture, people.
It's like these vegans.
Yeah.
Did you know the vegans are somewhere in America, and it's like every movement. It's movement, right? It's like hippies, you know.
Yep.
So now it's vegans, right? There's nothing wrong with vegetarian, but vegan, I might have few problems with it. And it started as a movement in the US, and I might be wrong. You know, whoever's listening, just, these people, they started as young people,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were really into it. But like everything, you know, a vegan guy met a vegan girl, and now they have a little vegan babies, yeah. And now, because hey, it's not the baby's choice. The baby wants milk, but hey, it's up to the parents what they feel, right? And he already started. Apparently, it happened in America. These people they ended up in jail for bodily harm.
Malnutrition.
Not just that. It was more than that. Look, vegan parents had a baby, and they never gave. It was a little girl. They never gave that girl eggs or milk, and that girl can't walk now.
Wow.
Because her legs, the bones, are not strong enough to support the weight of the body, so she's in a chair. Calcium is a very, very important thing.
Yeah.
Actually, it's did you know? I'm a trivia freak. Okay. What's the most abundant metal in your body?
Metal.
People say iron. Yeah, what is now? It's calcium.
Calcium.
Calcium is a metal. Yeah.
Okay.
And bones are not made of calcium. That's a myth. Calcium makes your bone hard.
Yeah.
If you don't have any calcium, say for example, if you don't have enough or any calcium in your body, your bones would be like cartilage.
Cartilage, yeah.
If you have calcium deficiency, your bones will be like cartilage.
Yeah, yeah.
You won't be walking on those legs.
And that's what happened to that little girl.
That's what happened to that little girl. And the parents were responsible because they were vegan freaks.
Mate, I think the best message we could get across for your listeners today is that, you know, you got to educate yourself, and you're not going to get educated by listening to the mainstream media.
No.
You know, if you can't step out of that paradigm and understand what's happening in the world and just think nothing's wrong, you're in big trouble. Particularly, you know, your own personal health. Look at you know, all the new low-fat diet drinks and, you know, all the low-fat foods and everything like that. But what's happened to obesity? It's just everyone's just getting fatter and fatter and fatter everywhere you go. You know? But you know, and yeah, you get a doctor today. He's not trained to understand nutrition. He's just there to write out prescriptions for the drug company. He's, you know, if you understand how your body works and how nutrition works, you don't need to go to the doctor. And does the doctor want that? He just wants you coming back all the time.
I know.
You know, and I don't think people really understand and what you are what you eat. I don't think there's ever been a truer saying than that. You are what you eat.
It was a French chef who said that.
Yeah?
I don't remember his name. I'm really shit with names, mate. I don't.
Yeah, I'm the same.
But I looked it up. It was a French chef, some famous guy, who said, "You are what you eat."
Yeah.
Oh no! He said, "Tell me what you eat, and I'll tell you who you are," or something.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like this, right? But then I go on another one. Tell me what media you follow, and tell you what you are. That's that's for today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whether you're a lefty or you're on the right.
But you know what? And this is why I'm doing this. Look, I never really fully explained why I'm doing this in English, because I started my channel because I want to help people. I don't want anything. I don't get paid. I don't have anything for this. I don't want anyone to send me anything. You know, not that they would, but I don't care. But why am I doing it in English? Look, it makes more sense to do this in English and later put Czech subtitles.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that. I figured out how to do it.
Okay.
YouTube can do it. I can do this in English, and I'll put Czech the YouTube will generate
Oh, good.
and sing
Yeah.
Czech subs with what I'm saying. Look, I live in Australia. My channel's got an English name. It just makes sense to do this in English. Plus, you don't speak Czech, so
No.
we have to do this in English.
It's social.
Yeah, but anyway, you said you said your message was people should educate themselves.
Yeah.
Well, that's a problem for Czech people.
It's hard, yeah. But I look at, but mate, even like I think, wow, like how did I ever get involved in agriculture? Like what? Like just like I actually at the time I was working for the biggest radio network in Australia. I was working for the biggest radio network in Australia, selling advertising, and yeah, at the time it was, and it was RG Capital Radio, Reg Grundy Radio. It was the biggest radio network in Australia. And back then, John Laws was, you know, I don't know if you heard of John Laws.
No.
He's in Sydney. He was, golden tonsils, they used to call him. And he was one of my programs that was playing on the radio, and I used to make plenty of money. I used to, sell a lot of advertising through his program. And, you know, so I actually went from that industry over to agriculture, and I'm thinking, wow, like, what am I doing? I've got a great job. This is the easiest job I've ever had, and I love radio, working in radio. And then I went over to this selling fertiliser, was basically selling mineral fertiliser, rock minerals. But for what I learned in that, I was with that company for 7 years. What I learned was just like just totally blew my mind. I went, wow, this can't be happening. This can't be. First, it was like a denial, like, nah, that can't be true. They wouldn't do that. They simply wouldn't do that. That's not true. How could they do that? But then, like, spending that decade out on farms, doing soil tests, looking at farmers, listening to farmers, listen to what they used to get, listen to what's happened to their farm, and you just go, what's going on here? Like we're going backwards. And production and in our health. Look at everyone's health. I'm looking around, why is everyone so sick? Why are the hospitals? You can't get to a doctor, you can't get to the hospital. Why is everyone so sick? And, we're supposed to be getting all this knowledge and making everything better, but we're going backwards.
He was hijacked by a few.
Wow. And just to learn, the importance of growing good food, how important it is. And
I can see you growing. I'm doing the same.
Just got to learn how important it is for us as humans to consume good food. It's everything. It's everything. And we're just full of fast food. Every ad on TV is fast food. Alcohol. Well, don't get me started. I used to be a.
Please.
Mate,
I make my own beer.
That's all right, but I used to be, I got caught up in it. I used to love my alcohol.
But whiskey?
I'd drink anything, but now the lights come on, mate. The lights come on. Between, abusing your body for 30, 40 years, it's just,
I must say, I feel the same. I got some alcohol at home. And I don't enjoy it anymore.
But how many times everyone's done that? You wake up the next day and you go, oh, I'm not drinking ever again. Never drinking again. 12 hours later you go, let's party.
But we live in Australia. I need my beer. Come on, when I get home,
mate, and
it was 35, 37, 40 degrees, and I've been out. I work outside. I get home, and before I kiss my wife, hello,
And you wonder why she doesn't talk to you.
Sometimes, a few times, I had to call. Sometimes I call. I remember.
Hi, darling.
No. Sometimes I remember I was on my way home in a truck, and I was calling Laura, and I said, "Hey, babe, I'm on my way home.
Is there any beer in the fridge?
Can you make sure there's a cold beer in the fridge? Because I can't wait." If there's not, I knew there was a fridge. I knew there was a beer at home.
Yeah.
Can you please make sure there is one really, really cold one for me? Because,
love you.
Yeah. So that's what you need your wife for. Just keep keep the beer fridge full. Anyway, these. Look, I think I can say a few things about Czechs because hey, I'm one of them, so that makes me eligible, right?
Yeah.
Czech people. It's You said people should educate themselves. Well, that might be a problem because Czechs are a nation. They think they know better. I'm speaking from my own experience. Like I said to you before, my Facebook, I go dog hair everywhere. Shit. Sorry, mate. You need to call someone for this because you said educate yourself. Well, they say there are 6 assumptions of learning. Right? I don't know them all, but there are 6 of them. Well, let me tell you about one of them that's pretty fundamental for this. To learn something, you must admit that you don't know something. Right? If you wanna educate yourself on something, right? You can't do it without admitting that you don't know.
That's right.
If you talk to some Czech people, and I know so many of them, they think they know everything. Okay, I changed my profile picture to a Russian flag. Yeah, right after Putin invaded Ukraine in February.
Are you a black belt in karate?
I did it because I already knew
a
lot about the problem.
Yeah.
I knew the whole history of Soviet Union and NATO and how they did it after the collapse of the Soviet Union, how they screwed Russians and everything. So, and I knew about the 2014, the Maidan and Color Revolution and Poroshenko and then Zelensky, and I knew that's why I did it. I didn't want to piss them off. I did it to support.
Yeah.
No, listen.
Yeah,
I did it to support what I believe.
Yeah.
Hey, oh my God, it was a storm. It was a shit storm.
I imagine. And why? Because everyone's watching the mainstream media.
But
everyone's watching the mainstream media.
But you know what?
That's the message, mate.
But you know, from these people, these Czechs I'm talking about, right? Someone who never been to Russia, never been to Ukraine, doesn't speak Russian, doesn't speak Ukrainian, never learn anything about history or history of NATO or history of this or that. These people, they think they know everything, and now they're going to educate you.
Yeah, it's like you say to them, don't confuse me with the facts because I've already made my mind up. So it doesn't matter what you tell them, they think, no.
But it's not just that. It's not that I'm not friends with these people anymore. See, I don't have a problem to still call someone friend.
Yeah.
And that might be someone with totally different opinion, right? Hey, we can. I stand here, you stand there. We can still be friends as long as we're civil.
Yeah.
But the problem is with Czech people, shit. You know, I think God, if there is one, God shouldn't have given social media to Czech people because man,
they got no filters.
They have no filters.
Yeah.
He might seem like a good guy.
Yeah.
Or on social media, he gonna send you filth. So with a letter of filth.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
I had people, and this is someone I knew since I was maybe 15 years old. We were going to the same classroom. We were sitting in the same room for 3 or 4 years, and that person wrote me, it was on Facebook or Messenger. She said, I wish you you were dead. I wish you'd die.
Wow.
Just because I didn't even send it to her. There was something about side effects of the V.
V.
All right, let's call them V. All right, let's call that V. And there was a story. I didn't say, hi Brad, I got something for you. You should, no, don't get me wrong. I saw the article, I read it, and I found that interesting, and I felt like I want to share it with people. Yeah. So what I did, I selected maybe 20 people, and I sent it. Right? I sent it to my friend in Brazil. I used to have a girlfriend. Now she's back in Brazil. We met in London, but now, okay. So I sent it to my girlfriend to Brazil. I sent it to people in Czech Republic. I sent it to people in England, right? And I remember what Simone, that Brazilian girl, sent me back. She said, "Hi Peter, that's not really nice what you sending me. You shouldn't say these things. Okay, it's perfectly fine." So what I did, we're still friends, but I don't want to piss her off. I stopped sending her stuff. Okay, because I'm not here to change someone's mind. You know, this is
plant a seed for them, but
you can't look. I can show you the way. I can show you this way, but you got to walk the way. I can't carry you. Okay, but what a difference! What a difference between Peter, you shouldn't say this. Then and difference between the Czech girl. She was also a girl, right?
Yeah.
I wish you died because you don't want to get V.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, and that's Czechs for you.
But mate, that's probably the thing about trying to get new information or learning. You know, some people have just got this barrier; they just don't want to know. I found what I learned over the years. The scariest part was the more you learn, the more you realise what you don't know.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it's just like, and even today, and this is where you talk, whether it's agronomy or how, there is no one on this planet, let's say, that can grow the perfect macadamia tree. Like, let's go out and plant a macadamia tree and let's do it perfectly. Mate, they can only use a guide to grow a pet. There is no recipe to grow the perfect mango or avocado or whatever. It's science just doesn't know. It's the same with our immune system. It's too complex.
It is.
It's too complex, and we're just guided by what we know. And you talk to any doctor, oncologist, you know, like cancer, they just don't know how to cure people.
You can't stop learning. You're right, because it's. Like, I'll tell you something.
But but what you're saying to me there about your Czech friend, it's like, you know, I hope you die. How dare you say that? It's like they've got this barrier up.
Yeah.
And what they know is all they need to know. It's crazy.
I even tried to get in touch with her.
Crazy.
Not because I wanted to have an argument with her. I was like, wow. I simply didn't believe. Look. If it was someone I don't know, I never met, I wouldn't give a shit. I would just delete the message. But this one was coming from a friend of mine. I knew that girl. But so that's why I thought, hold on, I want to know. Maybe she's heard or something. I want to know. So I was trying to call her. I send her a message. Please call me. I want to talk.
Wow, maybe it's no different. Like we talk about that V word. But let's talk about the moon. Let's talk about the moon for a minute.
Moon landing.
Now, what do I know about rocket scientists? No, but listen, what do I know?
You said you wouldn't do that on camera.
No, but I know nothing about rocket science. I know nothing. But there's a lot of information to make you ask questions, whether you go to YouTube or anything, you know. There is a lot of questions out there. Like, you look it up yourself. Dr. Werner von Braun, was it?
Yeah, Werner von Braun.
Do you know he wrote a book in the 50s, 1957? It was called Mars Project.
Okay, hold on.
We'll
Don't
stop
forget.
it. We'll stop it. Mars Project.
Okay, all right.
It's not. It's just what I read and I looked it up. I done my research.
But we
Well-
look, I want this to be.
Yeah,
To-
I
to-
done some research. I heard this.
This is not the first. This is not the last time we meet, all right?
No, Werner von Braun. He back in I think it was 1957. He wrote a book. It was called Mars Project, not the Mars Project, but Mars Project, and it was just his story about back in the 50s going to Mars and landing on Mars and colonising Mars. And do you know there was a leader in his book, the leader of Mars? Do you know who that leader's name was? Elon.
Really?
His name was Elon. Now tell me this. Who else do you know that's named Elon? Anyone else in the world?
Oh, he's weird.
7 billion people on this planet, and I only know one Elon Musk.
He's also a weird-looking.
Elon Musk is the only person I know, there's probably another Elon somewhere,
Wasn't it 50 years after the book was written?
but here's a guy, Brown, that was NASA's Nazi rocket expert, that wrote a book about going to Mars, and the leader of the colony on Mars was named Elon. Look it up.
Yeah, but
I
you
was
s-
blown
you-
away by
Yeah,
that.
but you said to me that we can't live anywhere else
No.
anyway because we are tied to this planet because there's something in the soil.
Exactly.
These microbes, we need them.
Those, you know, if once you leave this planet, you know, the soil microbes feed the microbes in this gut. If you have a look at, and I encourage anyone to research themselves, astronauts staying in orbit, the record. The American tried to do it. Kelly, he's twins. He actually, the younger one come back, and now he's the older one because he's the amount of time he spent up in space. But anyway, the reason these guys come back to Earth is for one reason. The reason they can't stay up there is because, mate, they're starting to die.
Wow,
You have to
They're
come
not
back.
they're not homesick.
No, mate, no. The Russians got the record. The Russian, I can't think of his name. He done not quite 2 years, I don't think. And like, he's a freak of nature. Kelly done not even 12 months. And mate, he had to come back to Earth. He was just, you know, once you leave Earth, you've got to get back. You can't just eat space food. You know, you go home and live on fish and chips. You can't do it. You must feed these microbes.
That's what you said to me.
Dr. Arden Anderson told me that many years ago. He said NASA's biggest problem is not projectiles getting to the moon and back. It's nutrition.
Okay.
Nutrition. And he said, you know, if you look at a blood test and a soil test, very similar. Very similar. So you've got your phosphorus, your calcium, your magnesium, your iron. You know, go through all the nutrients in a soil test, and you look at a blood test.
That's interesting.
You've got the same. You go, wow, they're nearly identical. You know, you've got all these nutrients in our blood, and you've got the same nutrients in our soil.
Tell me again what you said to me when I told you about. I think I asked you a question. Hey, what's this? We were talking about bugs, eating bugs.
Yeah.
I said that other people do it. Some people in Africa, they do it all the time. And you said,
Oh yeah. Well, that's like bush
that's the
tucker.
bush tucker.
Bush tucker. Yeah, but they would be consuming other roots of trees and
That's
other
right.
other nutrients that they're getting those nutrients from. You know.
So they're not just eating
No.
fried crickets.
No, that's right. They've got a probably a bigger range of other nutrients that they're
That's
not
right.
talking about. You know, it's you always got to hear the full story, don't you? But like going back to bugs, it's just it's all about getting rid of agriculture, destroying agriculture.
Yeah, but
First, we'll start with the fertilizer, destroy the soil, destroy the. You know, it's just a plan that can take how many lifetimes, I don't know. You know, they got no. I don't know if they got a date set. hopefully not. But you know, you can see the way that they're transitioning us now and telling us we shouldn't be doing this, we shouldn't be doing that. You know, it's climate change and like it's just everything. Even monkeypox. Did you hear monkeypox? They're changing the name of monkeypox.
Yeah, people are making fun of it.
The WHO are asking for recommendations on a new name. What? You can't make this stuff up, mate.
People don't buy that shit anymore.
I hope not.
No, because look, people get tired of everything. Okay, it's a good thing or bad thing.
I think the people that have been not talked about are the ones that have lost their jobs, lost their business. You know, the suicides, the amount of, and we're not hearing it because the mainstream media just refuse to talk about it. You know, it's terrible, and people just think, oh well, life's just going to go on back to normal, but
it will never go back to normal.
You know, I don't know. I hope it does, but what's normal?
Okay, it won't go back to where it was. No.
Oh, look at the dog. Yeah.
Jesus.
We're boring him, mate.
I mean, look,
all our listeners are doing it too.
Yeah, well, we got to look.
Wakey. Huh? God. I don't know, mate. It's
Okay. Hey, last thing. Laura sent me a message. I need to go home. I'm gonna. Yeah, I saw a message again. Now, this is your garden.
Yeah, just our little garden.
This is Is it enough for you two? Is it?
It's enough for us two. We don't have to buy lettuce, rocket, herbs. It's enough to keep us going.
Yeah, let's go outside. Yep.
This is our cos lettuce, our rocket. See, this garden now is ready to be chopped back in. I'll chop all this back in.
Right.
And green manure, like a green manure, there's your fertiliser. I don't use nitrogen in here. And so all this is all going to get chopped back in, turned back in. I'll let that sit for about a week, 2 weeks, because the soil, it's working pretty good. And these are my next. So this is my next crop going back in. That's just cos and rocket. So that's, as soon as that's all chopped back in and that's broken down, I'll plant these. And this is what I only plant last week. I planted these last week.
I got 2 of these.
Yeah.
Just bought it from a guy. He makes them. He makes them from pallets.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, ideally.
Tell me about your possum encounter.
Oh, well, I don't know if it's a possum. I haven't caught the culprit. I haven't caught it.
That's why it was a possum.
Yeah.
They come at
I
night.
put a cover over the. I made these, and then I've got one for each. But yeah,
they like fruit.
Another cover over.
They like fruit. You know, from my experience.
They won't eat this. Like, there's plenty of rocket here, but they'll come in and get me.
I'm an expert. I got 3 of them. I caught 3 of them. Not here.
Possums?
Yeah.
I've only seen one possum here.
I'm a possum catcher.
But so I'm not sure what it's doing. Whether it's I've got no idea. And there's just a few more herbs in here. This is a perpetual lettuce. This one. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. It's fantastic.
Well, I might ask you to give me some, because we need to buy another what do you call it? I need to buy another another bin.
See, this one will only last a couple of weeks. This I've had this for 8 months. 8 months. And this is a couple of years old, this one. I just keep chopping it back. And this boy, you just buy them at the supermarket and just pop them back in. Yeah, they just grow. But,
so we're about to finish. So this is where you live, and now what's the date today?
Today's Saturday.
Saturday, what, August?
August the 20th.
20th August.